What's up, y'all? This is B. Cox from the Vault Classic Music Reviews podcast. We review classic hip-hop, R&B, and reggae and dancehall albums 20, 25, and 30 years after their release. All true classics should be able to stand the test of time, so we put these classics to the test. Every week, we break down the greatest records in recent urban music history to reflect, review, and reminisce. Catch us every Monday morning for new episodes. I want to give a big shout out and respect to Bill and Hillary of the Sounds of the World podcast for giving me a moment of their time. You can follow us on Instagram at VaultCMR Podcast, on Twitter at Vault Classic, and Facebook and YouTube by searching the Vault Classic Music Reviews podcast.
Welcome to the Sounds of the World. We are your hosts, Hillary and Bill.
Together, we're going to travel around the world to discover new music, discuss musical topics, and interview fascinating people.
Our world is a buffet of music, and it is time to eat. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we have an opportunity to talk to a musical group. A little change from our usual individual style interviews. This group labels themselves as a jazz / funk / pop / soul super sexy badass fusion band from Chicago. A Wolfpack plus Snarky Puppy plus Lettuce plus the Fearless Flyers plus Roy Hargrove equals this band. It's quite the eclectic combination. I heard of this group through one of its members, Mark. We had met at Louisiana State University while he was a student there, and we talked about music. He later told me about this band and said I had to listen to them. Well, now we're interviewing them. Coming to us from Chicago area, please welcome Mark, Jimmy, Scott, Ryan, Tyler, and Anya, also known as the Delta Waves.
Woo!
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
It's great that you guys were able to come in and do this. So, okay. First question, of course, like we all want to know, is what's the history of this band? How did the band get started?
Jimmy, how did you and John get the idea to start something like this? Because you guys put something on Facebook, and I just kind of chimed in.
Yeah. So it kind of started in another band called Gorilla Social. And I think it was when John started playing like a bunch of Vulfpeck, and I was like, oh, this is like super funky. And then we started really funk music, and because the other bands just like a lot of like rock, indie rock, not necessarily that style, so we kind of like started a side project where we just like put together a bunch of riffs. John would like send me some bass lines or something, and I just kind of like piece things together. And then I had a bunch of songs out. Just started like trying to look for other musicians in Chicago to try and just like fill in the pieces. Mark, were you the first one?
Yeah, I think.
John and I?
Yeah, I think so. And then you posted something on Facebook on the Chicago Musicians Want Ads page or something like that. And I chimed in, and then we started, the four of us with the drummer from Gorilla Social, a guy named Keem, started jamming together. And then me and Scotty have known each other for a super long time. Yeah, so me and Scott have known each other for a long time. It was at a Christmas Eve party that we were both at. And Scotty was like, oh, I play keys. And I was like, we need a keyboard player. You doing anything on Tuesday?
This is actually a pretty funny story. So, we were at this Christmas party. Mark and I have known each other for a long time, but about not too well, I guess, just through, probably
we were like family friends.
Family friends. Mark at this Christmas party is drunker than I have ever seen someone publicly be around parents.
That is
no, this is like hold on.
Not entirely true.
He was having a good time.
Yes, but that is
so
we're talking. I resemble that remark.
So we're talking. He finds out that I'm a keyboard player, that I've been playing piano for a while, and he's just like, "Oh my god, this is perfect!" Because and this is how he's talking, because we I need a keyboard player. I'm in this funk band. Who are your influences? And I'm just like, Stevie Wonder. He goes, perfect. You're in. And I go,
you're in.
I told him, I was just like, I've never played in a band before. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just like come in and just do it. And he's like, doesn't matter. We're practicing on Tuesday. You're showing up. You're going to have a great time. And if you don't have to come again. And I'm just like, all right, well, you're probably not going to remember this in the morning anyway, so who cares? Literally like 8:30 the next morning, I get a text with the address and the time for practice. He followed through, which I was not expecting, but showed up for practice. And, you know, I always say like music's sort of like, it's like speaking almost. You know, like you can have two people who are both fluent speakers of different languages, but you're not going to be able to have a conversation with each other if, you know, if you don't speak the same language. And I think we showed up and I just so happened that all the guys there, you know, spoke the same language as me, and ended up being a lot of fun. It was really easy. So that was my introduction to the band. 1, 2,
remember slurring my speech that much, but I can corroborate most of that story. Yeah, and then I
think Ryan was after that.
Ryan was after that because Keem couldn't.
He didn't have enough time to play with the band, so I put an ad on Craigslist.
Yeah, and that was the moment I thought.
When Ryan responded, came and tried out, and it was this is too easy. Like, well, how is this band like?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Because it was like 2 weeks where we were without a drummer, and in Chicago, I feel like good drummers are actually pretty hard to come by. And you know, it was just Ryan came in, sat down, and jammed on one of our tunes, and we were like, "Cool, great!" We picked up right where we left off, which was awesome. And then Ryan knew Tyler, who's another saxophonist, and the two of us just like instantly connected.
Yeah, and
then. So how did we bring in Anya? Was that after a gig at Cubby Bear? We just went out to karaoke?
So Anya was a friend of mine from an old job. She came with a few friends to one of our shows at Cubby Bear in Chicago, and we all went to a karaoke bar nearby after the show. And yeah, she's like, "Yes, I haven't seen you in a while. Let's catch up. Let's hang out." We're doing karaoke. She is again also pretty drunk. There seems to be a common theme here, but yeah, so she's also pretty drunk and gets up there, and I can't remember what
we're all animals.
Yeah, it was probably like Aretha Franklin or something, but kills it, like absolutely kills it. And it's like she's got a ton of energy, and it is like a really fun personality. So she's up on stage and she's just crushing it. And as soon as she's done, I was just like, you have to come and sing with our band. Like, you have to, because right now I'm doing a lot of the songs and I am not a singer. Like, it was basically like me and Mark trading off, doing our best. And she comes, like, if we had an actual singer, we could both like Mark plays saxophone. He can't sing and play saxophone at the same time. I've never seen anyone do that. I don't think it's possible. Yeah. And so she's really nervous. I kind of felt like she just like no one had ever told her that she was good. I don't know if that's true, but it kind of felt that way. And yeah, I convinced her to come sort of the same way that Mark convinced me to come. And she is, every single time that she plays with us or sings with us, I feel like she gets more and more comfortable and is like, getting better and better as our lead singer.
Yeah, she's a dynamite talent. She is to me like no, you're going to want to know who she is, because it's going to be like 2 years from now, she's only going to be Anya. Like, she's going to be like a single name, like a Madonna-esque. I mean, she's so freaking good. It's absurd. And again, like, the other thing too is like there's 7 people in a band, and we all like all of our personalities like gel really well together, which I feel like, at least in my experience, like you get more than 5 people in a room playing music together, and there's always like one personality that sort of sticks out or like doesn't 100% gel, but it's this has not been the case at all. It's been just from day one, we've all been like just having a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a pretty long-winded answer, but there you go.
That's okay.
Thank God for alcohol, man. Like, otherwise, I don't know if we'd be sitting talking to you guys.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, yeah. I mean, with what, 7 members or so, it's going to take a while for that story to be told. So,
Yeah.
And we're still growing. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Wait, oh my God.
Septic applications, yeah.
2 years will be like 20 people.
Yeah. Full orchestra.
then you'll really be the size of Snarky Puppy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no kidding.
I can only hope.
So, so that was quite like the combination of influences with, Snarky Puppy and Wolfpack and Roy Hargrove. Do you guys all write your own music, or is there a combination of covers and originals, or?
Yeah, we do a combo of covers and originals. I think, multiple people have written songs for the group. Someone who comes in with an idea, Scotty and Mark come in with something or whatever. And, like I said in the beginning, I was sending Jimmy bass lines and stuff like that. So just kind of do that. And then, as a group, choose covers that, we think are fun and that, that are going to be fun and, just focus on what we do well and stuff.
Yeah, our writing process has been really organic. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is like one of us comes in with a jam or a groove or a bass line, and then we just sort of construct a song around it. And I don't think we're writing necessarily anything like, because we have something to say. I don't think many of our songs have a hugely deep meaning to them, but yeah, no, it really is. And I feel like every time I don't feel like any of our songs have a particular, like, everybody's doing the exact same thing every single time. Hell, we had a show the other day, and Jimmy, if you're doing some of these grooves every time, and maybe I wasn't hearing them, but I feel like every rehearsal I turn around to somebody, I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight as shit. Have you always been doing that?
I think most of our songs, I feel like most of our songs actually came together like without any speaking to each other. Like someone just starts playing something, and then, Ryan will just start playing along because he's, that's just what he does. And then we all just sort of fold into that mix, and then we'll just jam for 10 minutes until someone starts waving their arms and be like, hey, this is kind of cool. Do you want to turn it into something? But I feel like
credit for Ryan too, because he's I feel like in terms of a jam, most of us could go on a single jam for 30-35 minutes. And Ryan's I'm done drumming at 7 minutes. So he's really good at
so much
to an end, and then we can talk about what we had just done. But yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, we sort of goof around on some chord progression for 10 minutes or so, and then we're like, I think we have something here. And then usually me and Tyler come up with some sort of horn riff or horn background not too long after. And a lot of the horn riffs that we come up with is one or both of us are basically just soloing at the same time. And then if one hears something that we like, or we kind of come into an idea together, that's usually how we come up with most of the horn backgrounds.
Yeah. It's cool to see you and Tyler go back and forth soloing, and then you listen to each other, and then all of a sudden you guys are playing the
full
thing.
it's two separate things that just slowly fold together into one harmony line, which is it's really it's cool.
I hope that happens with us physically. I hope we just meld into one human being. We could play 2 saxophones.
The delta wave.
Oh yeah, single delta wave. I hope when Tyler hears that, he's not weirded out by that statement.
I actually have to go now.
I should probably call him and be like, hey, I said something on the podcast, brother. You gonna be okay? You gonna be okay with this?
How many listeners does the thing have?
Yeah, right.
Well, we've been heard in 9 different countries, and
wow.
So almost 160 downloads so far in a month.
Nice. Okay. That's awesome.
Keep chugging on. I know Mark has a musical background. Does everyone have a musical background?
No, I just sat down at a piano one day, and it was just no, I'm kidding. I just thought of work.
Child prodigy. No.
I grew up taking lessons. I didn't go to school for it or anything. I didn't really study it, which is actually it's been really educational playing with these guys because they know so much more about theory than I do. Like anytime I'll like, sometimes I'll call Mark with like, hey, I have an idea. And I'll be like, oh, I really love how like you use the relative minor. Or like, I don't know, he'll spit out a bunch of musical jargon and I'm like, cool. I thought it sounded good. Like, but yeah, I mean, just I grew up, you know, playing music, but personally, I never had any like education in it.
My parents met singing in a choir, so they're both still sing in choir together and stuff like that. So kind of just been a musical family, and so I grew up, you know, piano lessons, you know, guitar and stuff like that, and bass, and then just picked that up. I've been playing in bands since like 8th grade. I was in a band, you know, we did our school talent show and stuff. And then in high school was in one, and then kind of took a break in college, was doing some other stuff. And, you know, and then after that came back and, you know, Jimmy has asked me to join this other group. And so kind of since then I've been playing again. So yeah, it's kind of been, you know, something I've always enjoyed and doing. So again, musical family. So it's awesome to be able to get out and, you know, playing shows and stuff is super fun, especially in the city. I mean, it's a lot better than the 8th grade talent show. So.
Was Jimmy drunk when he talked to you?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm kind of like similar as John. I'm a very musical family that I grew up in. My brother plays, my sister plays piano. I actually took my first lesson from my mom for guitar. So that's kind of what got me into it. I took like a handful of lessons after that. And then pretty much it's been like a lot of self-taught or just like trying to pick things up from ear and just kind of like studying on my own, watching a lot of YouTube videos. But yeah, so probably been playing since I was like 13. And then starting getting back into like learning actual like theory and stuff just to like improve all around past like couple years. So just trying to improve and, you know, have fun.
Nice. And so Jimmy, your vocal and guitar, or what's everyone's instrument?
I think like pretty much like everyone sings in the band. Anya's the main singer.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends what song, really.
Anya came in after we had already like written some original songs. So there's a few, like I sing one of the first ones that we wrote. I sing, and like we thought about like giving it to her, but it sort of wasn't really written like I think with her in mind.
Lyrically, there would
even like
yeah, it's like
just like having a female singer. It's just like one really work. I think one of the lines is like, "Let's ride my rocket, babe," and it just wouldn't really work. She said it. Yeah, so,
ride my rocket, babe, we'll land among the stars. And I think, admittedly, in Anya's credit, she would have no problem singing that. She would do it. Yeah, 100% fine.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, yeah. So she's taken over all the covers that we do. I think she sounds way better on. But I think a few of the original songs, like we just know them way better, so we're just more comfortable. So if she ever wants to take over, I will let her happily. But no, for now, yeah. So like we all have ones that we just like. It's just the one that we sing, so we keep singing it.
And we have a lot of tunes where everybody will sing backup vocals too. You know, like we do a cover of "Twist and Shout" like every other band does. And then one of our original tunes, we added some background vocals in there that I think sound really, really cool. And you know, I'm excited to hear those recorded when we get to that point. Yeah. So speaking of background vocals,
trying to like get a recording out.
We're trying to self-produce a single at the moment, so hopefully we're able to get that out, you know, relatively soon. But we want it to be as good as possible before we release it. So, you know, we're gonna tinker with it. But speaking of background vocals, we had a show the other day, and we did "Twist and Shout," and Anya, I think, maybe missed the lyric here and there, and so because all we're doing is listening for the last line that she sings. So it was like, shake it up, baby, twist and shout, twist and shout. And then I think she missed the line, and we just came in, we were like,
yeah, just like,
like twist and shout, can't remember the words. It's like, yeah.
And I don't think I've seen John laugh that hard in a while.
Low stakes environment.
Yeah, for sure. We're not. Yeah, it was fun. It was funny.
Yeah, fun.
or even I just want to point out to our listeners, like, you can still, like, I'm enjoying that, like, some of you have musical backgrounds, some of you don't. I think one of the really cool things about music is like, and my sister and I have this kind of dichotomy where she can't read music. She's like one of my favorite singers in the entire world. And like, I studied music like all throughout college, and I'd argue that she's just as good as a musician as I am. Even like, I can nerd out and do all the theory, and it legit doesn't matter because she can like hear a song once, pick it up, and like just rail on it. And I'm like, man, how do you do that? So I just think it's cool that you guys have this like really cool like mixed match of these musical backgrounds, and you're all able to speak the same language, and it seems to really gel in your work. And even if you're missing a lyric, like you all got each other's back.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a really cool mixing pot of everything.
Yeah, I feel like music is like food in a way where it's like, at the end of the day, like if something tastes good, like it tastes good. Like it doesn't matter if it's made with the best, you know, like the finest, fanciest ingredients. If, like
That's why I love McDonald's.
What?
That's why I love McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
Hip hop of food.
The
Always
McDouble. The McDouble. Can we curse on this podcast? How clean do you want us to be?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, the McDouble fucking slaps. Okay, and I know it's probably made with like horse meat or whatever, but like it fucking slaps, dude.
Yeah, McDouble, triple cheeseburger. Oh, so good.
The triple cheeseburger is so good.
So good.
Yeah. but like I'm a big believer in that as well. Like the idea that like at the end of the day, it has to sound good, you know. And it's so like in that sense, like music is like a lot of times like a meritocracy. Like the best idea is always the one, you know, you should try to go with, and like if it sounds good or not, and whether you have the theoretical backing, you know, rationale behind it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah, because I feel like you can always find a way to over theorize it to be like, oh, you know, it actually sounds good because you're breaking this rule and blah blah blah. Like,
yeah,
even as people analyze like some of the great works, they're like, okay, they didn't follow the rules here, and this is why it sounds good. And so,
well, as you can tell, this is a group of people that's not big on rules. So,
love it.
We gave it away.
Now, you guys did have was it like your first big show yesterday, or
in a while?
Okay.
Well, just because when everything shut down, like every single music venue in Chicago, they like couldn't put on shows. So we had just started to hit our groove, I think.
Yeah,
Right when everything shut down, like we
actually had a lot of shows lined up. I'm pretty sure for some.
We had a pretty consistent.
And we were 100% going to win this battle of the bands thing that was going on.
Yeah, the House of Blues in Chicago was doing a competition that we won the first round of, or we placed the first round. We moved on to the finals, and then everything shut down. So unfortunately, like we didn't have a place to play for a while. We weren't even playing together. We weren't even practicing just because everyone was so scared. And then we started practicing. We got, you know, just to like be able to play together. And then I was pretty desperate to perform again because I fell in love with this band.
He needs the attention.
Yeah, I desperately need it. I just need to be loved.
We all do.
Yeah, but I was trying to come up with more like ideas of how we could do it. Maybe we could play in a public park in the city somewhere. And then I looked into it. I talked to a lot of the the parks departments around the city. And like basically every single one of them shut me down. They're like, it either has to be sponsored by the city or can't happen because they're residential areas and you can't, like, no amplified sound. So I started looking at the suburbs and then kind of came up with the idea of like, you know what, my parents live in the suburbs. They got a nice backyard. What if, like, is it possible that we could just put on our own show? And I asked the guys, like logistically, do we have enough equipment? Do we have the speakers? Like, can this work? And immediately everyone was just like, fuck yes, let's do this. Let's make it happen. So we put on our own little backyard concert, and that was yesterday. And God, it felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
play a live show even.
Yeah, it was fun.
It just felt so good. Yeah, I like people sat in like little groups of 6, so everyone was socially distanced around the yard. We, masks were worn if like you were moving around, but once you were sitting in your circle, you're fine. And we just, played all of our stuff because, who knows the next time that we'll be able to do it again, especially now that it's getting cold. But yeah, it was a very fun event. I'm really happy that it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out surprisingly well considering like we've never done like our own individual live show where we'd be setting up all the equipment and everything like that. And the fact that we were able to like even just like get everything all lined up for the most part. And like admittedly, we didn't really figure out like a PA system for ourselves. So I feel super like our drummer and John were basically like flying blind the whole time. They couldn't hear themselves or they couldn't hear what was going on.
Yeah.
But after a few tunes, like when we kind of dialed everything in, it was like we hadn't stopped gigging. So it was a really enjoyable night. It was a really enjoyable afternoon for sure.
Yeah, I'm like very impressed by like how like actually the sound like actually traveled pretty well, especially from like the videos that I heard playing back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so windy too, so I was kind of worried about that, but like everything went way better than I thought it would.
It worked out. I was afraid that the neighbors were going to complain, but I think everyone was just kind of happy to hear.
Yeah, your next door neighbor like came over to watch.
Yeah. Every time he walked over, I thought, "Oh, fuck, this is it. We're done."
Yeah. I wasn't worried about him. I was worried about the ones through the woods because we had some issues with them in the past. It was a bit of I was kind of rolling the dice because I knew most of the neighbors would have been cool, but if even like one of them calls in a complaint, we had no defense. We were like, "Yeah, sorry, you caught us. We're putting on a
For the play.
Yeah, and there was one in particular that we had some issues with in the past, and so I was just kind of like crossed my fingers and hope to God that we weren't gonna have an issue, and luckily we didn't.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think with everything being closed down, even the most, because there's a neighbor around us who has a drum set and a little band, and we had heard them play a little bit. I'd never heard any vocals, just a lot of smacking the drums and horrible guitar riffs, and but
it sounds like our early rehearsals when we were at
but it had been a long time with all of the lockdowns and stuff, and then I started hearing them again, and I would think that a few neighbors probably be like, "Oh, okay, we're kind of getting back to normal now."
John, who was it that walked in on our rehearsal one day? And that was like when we realized we had to go to an actual place.
That was my landlord.
Yeah.
We used to practice in my basement, and the landlord walks down and it's like, "Yeah, you guys sound good, but this is the last time you're doing this rehearsal."
Yeah, he was
on the third floor, and you could hear it from the first floor basement.
Yeah, and didn't like your other neighbor have a baby or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah.
But he comes down and he like yells at us, and then he goes, "Well, now introduce me to your friends."
Yeah.
You see the light.
Yeah.
It was super funny. I remember that.
Our OG fan.
Yeah, the #1 Delta Wave fan. Yeah. Speaking of Delta Wave fan, I want to give a quick shout out to Scott's sister is the one who designed our logo.
Oh, cool.
And has like done a lot of sort of logistical stuff for us over the couple of years we've been together. So shout out to Katie.
Yeah, shout out
for
to
this
Katie.
sweet logo design. Yeah. Scott's family in general.
My whole family's pretty excited about the band in general because it's the first one I've ever been in. I mean, all these guys have played in a bunch of bands or have been gigging for a while, but like they haven't gotten out of that phase of just like, "Oh my God, we have to go see him play every time." No, you don't have to come to every show.
They're the only ones with Delta Waves t-shirts.
Yeah, they made. Oh my God, first time they showed
Which
up.
I'm like very jealous of. I want a Delta Waves t-shirt.
None of us have Delta Waves t-shirts. My parents are the only two that own like any merchandise of ours. I want a shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. You need
They love it. They like every time they come to a show, people will ask them like, "Where'd you get that? Can we get one?" They're like, "No."
It's not
We're
the edition. You missed out.
Yeah.
Mom's in the background. That's my boy.
Yeah,
So when did you guys start putting all this together? I might have missed the starting date. Like, when did this all kind of start gelling together?
Like us as a group, or the gig we
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. When did you guys kind of start?
I think it's almost been 2 years, right?
Yeah, Anya is the last one to join, and she joined in like, I want to say like December or January. It was like winter-ish of the past year.
Yeah, yesterday was her third show with us, I think.
Yeah. No, third, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her first show was that first round Battle of the Bands thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come join our band. We're doing a competition.
Yeah.
You do to nail
No
it.
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. It's fine.
Yeah. We do a cover of Valerie in like the kind of the Amy Winehouse style.
Yeah.
And she tore the roof off the place. It was spectacular on her first gig, and she annihilated it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So in the current iteration, it's been about a year with everybody, but it's been about, I would say, 2 years. Yeah.
This year doesn't count though.
Yeah. We didn't
Yeah.
For 1 year.
Like 2020 is gonna be stricken from a lot of records. Like, no, nothing notable happened this year.
Yeah. Like
Everyone's just like, I'm not 27 yet this year. This year doesn't count.
Yeah.
Every week feels like a year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my relationship with time has become like so nebulous. Like every time I tell a story, I was like, "Oh yeah, it happened a week ago." Like, and it doesn't matter if it happened in March or if it happened like yesterday. Like everything was just a week ago between like March and now.
No, there's like this. It's now COVID, and then there's before COVID. I'm like, remember when it was the before time? And I'm like,
Yeah.
only March. Like,
The long ago.
it was 12 years ago, and the long ago. That's how it feels.
We list off a few of the bands that kind of congealed your sounds into what you are currently, but who are your like personal favorite bands?
yeah, I feel like everyone has like a little bit different taste, but like we all have like at the same time like a similar kind of like genres like that we like as like a core. Like since I'm guitar, I like just naturally like a lot of guitar music. So like I grew up listening to a lot of like the classic rock stuff like Hendrix, and like Led Zeppelin and like Beatles, and then I got into like John Mayer and stuff, and now I kind of like honestly just like a little bit of everything. A lot of like really good guitarists in the UK and stuff. So that's pretty much been like what I grew up listening to.
For me, I guess like I'd say the Beatles are probably like my favorite band, but yeah, kind of into everything. I mean, listen to a little jazz, rock, all rock, metal, stuff like that. So yeah, kind of like everything. And so that's what's kind of nice though too, is you can have different influences, and it's especially with what we do, just kind of blend different stuff. I mean, and just as bass, as playing bass, like just take some Paul McCartney type stuff or whatever, and he's in a song, or James Jamerson or whatever, classic stuff like that I like, or some jazzy stuff. I've been, just on my own playing some Jocko tunes, stuff like that. So and Coltrane, stuff like that, transcribing Coltrane solos to bass, like just been kind of during quarantine. It's been, it's been good to do that kind of stuff, and obviously when we were practicing for a while. But yeah, so for me at least, having those different influences and all that kind of stuff is awesome. I've yet to put some metal stuff in, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll do it.
Talk about another band, a metal band.
Yeah, we just more bands.
Yeah, we could do a band for every genre.
Every
Yeah.
we just
So
have-
we did cover System of a Down and the other bands, so
We were like, our cover of Stevie Wonder Superstition, we could probably go metal on.
There you go.
I'm down.
It was a little hard.
Yeah. Musically for me, I mean, like obviously I'm more like zoned in on particular saxophonists. But I mean, even as like a kid, I remember getting really into Chicago and a lot of like the horn-driven rock bands. I think in a personal style, like I really am a big fan of Lenny Pickett, who he's the guy. I mean, among a million other credits, he was in Tower of Power, and I think most people probably know him as the guy who's the saxophonist for the SNL band, the Saturday Night Live band. And so his sound and his like approach to like especially the high register, I really probably poorly emulate, but yeah, and then but it really is all over the place. I mean, one of my all-time favorite bands is Motley Crue. I don't know if anybody, have I ever told you guys that?
Oh yeah, Mark, I didn't know that.
Oh, I love Motley Crue, man.
Kickstart My Heart.
Yes, dude, Kickstart My Heart and Same Old Situation.
You can be in our metal band.
Yes, I will be the first metal saxophone player. But yeah, and then I think recently, like, because I've tried to get better at writing lyrics, because I'm actually writing lyrics for songs that are being performed as opposed to songs that just like exist in my notes app on my phone. I've been listening to like a lot more singer-songwriters, and so like guys like John Prine and Amy Winehouse and Annie DeFranco and more of those kind of poets, but also a lot of guys like even like Kendrick Lamar I listen to, and how like dense and word heavy his flow is. Like I'm just trying to like understand like how just different approaches to writing lyrics and stuff like that, and seeing if I can pick up or outright copy any of the stuff that they've done.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I never answered.
Yeah.
Like Scotty?
I was just like,
you're building
the
up
next
tension,
question.
man. I was like,
No,
Scotty's
stop.
got something good.
My eyes are glazed over. I'm barely hanging in here. No, I grew up with like a really standard music taste. And I think I realized that at one point and was just like, I need to branch out of here. And I always look for like, I don't know, things a little bit more unique, not necessarily like offbeat, but I don't know. I always kind of prided myself on like music that no one's heard of. And then I joined this band, and
Such a hipster.
like I don't know. I joined this band, and then they introduced me to Wolfpack because I never heard of him before, and now that has basically like infected my entire music taste and personality and life. Literally just like everything is Wolfpack or Wolfpack related. Like all the musicians that they collaborate with, I'll just like, oh, okay, there's another avenue, let's listen to them. And so it's like
Scotty's on a huge Dave Koz hit right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dave Koz, Chris Diley, Lawrence is actually my current favorite band out of New York. Yeah, no, it's all, right now for me, it's just a lot of funk music, like light funk. It's just, I don't know, I can listen to that for literally an entire day.
Yeah, so
Tyler,
I just like Wolfpack.
Yeah, I know, right? Wolfpack is the.
I think John showed them to me, and that's when like we started like just getting like super funky and like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, because I had heard of him just from like Joe Dart and like on bass stuff, just like this dude's crazy, you know. And then I started listening to him and all their stuff. Just everyone's great on their stuff and super fun, and yeah, it's awesome. So. And they're, and again, like kind of the way they don't take themselves too seriously. I feel like a lot of their lyrics and stuff like that. And we have a song called "Sexy Lasers," so obviously we've done a little bit of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Vulfpeck is probably the underlying like thematic inspiration for most of us. But I'll give a shout out to Tyler, who's my saxophone partner in the band, and he's like encyclopedic. It's really, he knows a lot of music. We were driving to rehearsal one time, and I put on Van Halen's "You Really Got Me Going," and he like knew it. Not only like everybody kind of knows that song, but he knew like that particular version of it like so well. It was wild. Like he was hitting like all the like particular like oohs and ahs and stuff like that at the same time. So he's like an encyclopedic knowledge. He knows a lot of really cool music.
There's a lot about like jazz too. He's been showing
jazz
songs.
Yeah. And then I feel like Ryan's influences, and I don't want to speak for him, but his drumming style is like very sort of rock based. I feel like. Yeah. So I'm bummed he's not here. I actually really wanted to hear the answer to this question from him.
Darn it, Ryan! The hell.
Okay, he's an awesome drummer. I mean, it's like he really is. I think like the like in terms of just like structure and stuff like that. Like he's got a great ear for it. And I think if he wasn't a part of this band, we would just have one tune that would just like jam forever, jam infinitely.
Yeah, like stopping songs is like actually a problem for us.
Yeah,
really for like literally like 30 minutes. Like, yo, we need to play something else because we're running out of time for rehearsal.
Yeah,
we were talking about that. I brought this up at another rehearsal a while ago, but like what happens every single time is that we'll play something for like 10 minutes, and then we'll build and build and build and build, and then like someone will be like, it'll just naturally come back. And to the point where we should end the song. Like we should stop, we should talk about it, do something else. But one person refuses to quit. And one person keeps playing. And then it's very slowly, and it's not the same person every single time. It's just like someone is just feeling it and refuses to stop. And then very slowly wins over the rest of the band until we're all
like, oh, okay, we'll keep playing.
Back in.
Like it happens every single time, and it's hilarious that it's not always the same person.
I think that's another one of the reasons I really like this group in particular is that like everybody's also like a really talented like soloer and soloist. So like it's really nice that we can kind of like pass the ball around between pretty much everybody in the band, and it's really like it's really fun because I feel like it keeps us fresh, essentially. Like even when we play tunes that we've been playing for years now, we're, for better or worse, we don't really know how they're going to end up every time.
Yeah, I feel like most of our songs, everyone at some point is just improvising and making stuff up on the fly.
Yeah.
Most songs, I don't play the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Or very different things.
It's just fun because it keeps everything fresh, and it never feels stale. It always feels like someone's bringing a new idea.
Yeah, I think that's what makes our live show aspect like so much more entertaining.
Yeah, it's
so much of it is just like improv.
It's more fun for us, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a small chance that maybe we're a bit looser because of that, and there are a lot of bands who I think focus on what you're saying, like just a rigid structure to every song, making sure everything's tight. But it's just more fun.
Yeah, so just going like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, chorus, verse. It's just like verse, chorus, verse, solo, question mark, solo. You go back to a verse, then chorus, more solos, like.
And then at a certain point, one of us will look at Ryan and we're like, I think we're done.
Like we were supposed to end the song. Like,
are we done? It reminds me of like when you hear a recording and you like, I don't know, that recording becomes like sacred to you, and like every little piece of it, and then you hear that song live and you're like, I feel betrayed because like you didn't do the solo the same way, like you didn't do the chorus went differently. But I think there's like you said, there's definitely something exciting about keeping that fresh, and every live show like has those little hidden gems that are just like, man, that moment was magical. I don't know if we'll ever hear it again, but so that's really cool to hear that you guys do that.
Yeah. And like a perfect example is like the rehearsal we had before the show. Scott comes in and changes like the bridge to one of our songs, and we're like, great, awesome, and we just rolled with it. You know what I mean? So like we all like the songs we come up with, but none of us are so like religiously attached to any part of them.
Which is the hard part about recording it, because we keep changing the song.
We have no real structure. We just be like, all right, what is this song actually?
You get one
rein in this animal.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on doing a tour once everything is all back, better than normal? We'll put it that way instead of back to normal.
I would love to do like a Midwest tour for sure. Just
Yeah, I think
throw everything in a couple of cars and do shows and I know people in Iowa, so like we could do Illinois, Iowa. I know some people in Minnesota, so I'm sure we could do. I would love to do something like that. I think that's probably the next like big thing for us in terms of just moving forward with what we want to do. That and getting some stuff recorded.
Yeah. I think getting stuff recorded and putting out an EP or an album, I think is
T-shirts.
at
T-shirts
least
are
my
important.
opinion, should be priority.
T-shirt.
Yeah,
T-shirts.
mostly just T-shirts, merchandise.
Yeah.
Get all the merchandise out there and be like, why do I have this shirt? And then we'll give them the music.
And then there's no recordings out there, so it's like shit. I guess I have to go see them live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have to know what the shirt means.
Can that be like the marketing? We never actually record anything, and it's like a guerrilla
Yeah,
viral
it's like,
marketing
we'll get around to it.
based off T-shirts alone. Like people just get T-shirts mailed at their door and like a ticket to the show, and they're like, "Well, I guess I have to go."
Yeah, what's happening?
I wear a Delta Wave shirt around Houston.
Right, I'll rep you guys in Montana. There's not much people out here, but
Once we get some printed, we'll definitely send you guys some.
yes.
Come on, Scott, get your mom to print some.
Yeah.
Well, I think
That's that. Yeah, we could just do it. We could make them.
yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
They had the designs. From,
Sure, but
the
not
sisters,
ours.
so.
Yeah, I would love to do a tour. I think this group doing a tour would be a blast. Like regardless of just playing shows one way or the other, but like actually just like getting to like carve out 2 weeks and go on a road trip with this group of people. That sounds like the most fun thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And we can open for Vulfpeck and
Yes.
and
yeah, hell yeah,
Sick.
hell yes.
There you go. We'll tag and hashtag Wolfpack on this, and
give this to Jack Stratton.
there we
Yeah.
go. And then you guys are now. Did you say you already have something recorded, or you're working on recording something?
We're working on it.
Yeah.
And we have most of the parts, I think, other than drums and just kind of cleaning it up and stuff, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, shouldn't be too long actually. I think we just got to figure out drums and just finish mixing.
Oh, mixing. It's no fun. It is
I
fun.
know, right?
It's a like puzzle. My friend has a band and I helped him on their first album and I was like,
Yeah.
I had no
After
idea.
you hear the song like a million times.
You're just gonna hate all our music after we're done producing it.
Oh, yeah, we had a blast. We were like playing it on all these different speakers. We were like, well, shit, the bass sounded great on this, but that's because you have a really great sub. Now it sounds like a cartridge on my laptop. And
Yeah, playing it in the car or like on headphones.
car stereo was the best. Yeah, no, that's a fun process. It's definitely like gonna test patience, but I think once you start like, getting the hang of it, you'll be like, all right, I know how to get the drums mic'd and I know where to put this and I know where to level all this out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on our little on Sounds of the World podcast and talking to us about your band, the Delta Waves. I don't know why my voice is cracking now, but
I was gonna do that.
You want to try again?
There we go.
All of a sudden, you're like, "Thank you so much for doing it."
It's
It was a pleasure talking to you.
super great. No, thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking with us today. I really enjoyed getting to hear everyone's musical background, and just you kind of inspired me to dig up my bass out of the basement and play it again.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so make sure everyone you check out the Delta Waves.
Thanks for listening to the Sounds of the World podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode. There are links to everything in the episode description and also on our website.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Sounds of the World. To show support for Sounds of the World podcast, please join our Patreon, where you can have access to our after-party discussion with guests, discounted merchandise, and even more.
If you have any questions, answers, or episode suggestions, please email us at soundsoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com. Well, Bill, I think I'm going to go have a beer now.
Hey, there you go.